Welcome to a new update on a day where Bitcoin is fighting the 40k resistance. It's a very volatile day. Bitcoin is up 8%. And in the meantime, we also see that the yields are up. Nasdaq is down despite the fact that Amazon has been going up today at the open of the markets. We are also seeing the dollar bouncing back up. So it's a very hectic day going into the weekend. And also, what do we see more? We do see that the Fomo is increasing across the markets as people feel left out. And how do you actually identify the Fomo? That's what we're going to discuss in this update. But before that, make sure to subscribe beneath, like this YouTube update, check out my Twitter and Instagram where you can find daily content on the markets. And yeah, that's about it, about the intro. So, what do we see with the markets today? Well, actually, it's a quite complex market, as you know. Bitcoin is currently breaking out heavily, or has been breaking out heavily after a slight bounce from 36k. Another test happened at 37, and then we started to shoot up. And due to the shoot up, which we will be looking into it in a technical manner, we have been liquidating a ton of shorts as the volume is increasing significantly. However, the dollar is bouncing up too, and the yields are also going up. So one of the assets are going to be wrong with the actual move, as they won't normally go up all at the same time. And the indices are still showing weakness. Nasdaq is down approximately 2% at this stage. So any of those are wrong. And it starts to feel like Bitcoin makes a very slight or heavy fake out at this point, triggering a ton of shorts, but also triggering FOMO, generating enough liquidity to actually reverse the markets. As right now, we are seeing a ton of FOMO in the markets as people are eager to buy back into it, are expecting that we are done with the actual move. And recall correctly, there is a trend line on the markets that everyone is watching at this stage. We are breaking through it, and that is triggering an additional amount of volume to get into the markets. However, did we see a reversal at this point, or did we actually claim a previous support level for support again? That's not the case. We are still beneath that level, and we have to reclaim that. And we're currently, with this move of Bitcoin, we are approaching that resistance point, makes it still vulnerable for heavy short selling or heavy TPs. And due to the short liquidations and the people that want to FOMO into Bitcoin right now, it generates enough liquidity to actually reverse the market. So I would definitely advise, going into the weekend, advise you to avoid FOMO at all costs. I think the lessons here are that when Bitcoin went to 33k, the assumption was that we were going down to 30, and people were not eager to actually buy back into the markets. But right now with Bitcoin at 40k, the FOMO starts to get back into the markets, and people are thrilled to actually start buying it. So we are up 20 to 25%. We are seeing a dollar bouncing up. We are seeing yields crawling up, and Bitcoin is facing a higher time frame resistance zone, which should be making you a ton of cautious already, as breaking and flipping 41k is definitely the trigger to go for. But right now, I'm not seeing that assumption yet. Let's head towards the charts to see what I want to see if we truly are bullish. So when we're looking at the price action of Bitcoin at this stage, I just got a daily chart here, and that shows everything that you need to know. The daily chart has a very critical resistance zone that we have to break through, and that's the level around 40.7k, right? That's the level that we should be clearing. If that one breaks, you can definitely start arguing that we've done, or we've got everything that we need for a reversal, as then we are breaking back in this range and are most likely going to test 47k. So an additional short squeeze is most likely going to happen the moment that the market breaks through 40.7k. Now, when we're looking at the lower time frames, we can start defining what happened today. First of all, we've had this beautiful test in the region of 38.5k, right? If you start zooming in, you can see this or spot the levels even more. And we can also see a beautiful retest here. So first of all, 38.5k has given us this breakout or at least has given us the resistance. We've had a fake out happening as well, and we've got this retest of 36k taking place, resulting into the move before we actually start breaking out. So what I mean by that is that we've had this rush up. We got the clear resistance zone here, which we couldn't break through, and I said earlier in the update that if we break through this range, that is going to be the crucial trigger of actual continuation on the markets, right? So we couldn't break through that level, but what we did see is that the crucial one to actually hold for Bitcoin is the area at 37.4. That one flipped for support, causing continuation, especially given the Amazon news and the yields going up. We do see this big move. So now the question becomes whether we are having a fake out or whether we are having a sustainable move, as the volume is the highest which we have anticipated since the actual crash occurred. What we are seeing is this matter of fact of resistance that we are now facing, which is the entire region from 40.7 to 41.5k. That is the previous range support, likely to test as resistance, as this is the first time that we're testing that level. If we break through it, however, I'm assuming we're going to see a test of 44.2, but definitely continue moving towards 46k. So at this point, we're just having another breakout, and in the previous moves, you can see that we're having almost a full correction taking place afterwards. So what do we want to see if we want to have continuation? I think that we're going to see heavy sells happening in this range, and given this volatile move, if we start reversing, it is very simple. We're going back to 38.4. The way we're going to do that, that's going to be the question here. Because if we're going to do it today already or in the next 24 hours, it is a fake out. It is most likely going to give us a move like this, and then we are probably done and are going to test lower levels, as then the higher time frames like the daily are going to close beneath 38.8 again. And when we're looking at the weekly time frame, it's going to show weakness too, as the weekly time frame is also facing this crucial block of resistance. So what do we want? Well, we want to see continuation on the markets in itself. Now I'm going to give a clear or clean chart here. I need to find a clean chart, please. There we've got a clean chart. So what we want to see is definitely that we stay above this level that we've got here, which is approximately around 38.9 to 39k, right? That is the range high of this entire move when we look at the 3 hour. If we're going to break beneath or lose that level again within the next 24 to 48 hours, it is definitely a fake out, and then this one is going to be the fake out of this move, trapping a lot of people that want to get into the markets, trapping a ton of people that have been in shorts. If we go all the way back down again, the assumption or I think that we're going to have a test of 36 or potentially even 33 to 34k, as then we are back into this one and you want to have a fake out taking place here. So we're getting into the tricky markets. We're getting into an environment that you have to take focus, or you have to stay focused, given that we are approaching higher time frame resistance and we could be flipping a level for support. As in, if we're going to consolidate a little while here and continue staying above 39k, the odds are increasing that we get towards 44 to 46k. Tricky markets, but avoid FOMO. Definitely not, I'm not buying into 40.5k the first time that we're testing that level after the actual market breakdown. If we flip it, I think we're continuing to 46, and the odds of actually bottoming out are heavily increasing. If we drop back from 40.3k back beneath 39k, it's going to be a heavy correction, and then I'm assuming that we're going to test the lows again. So that is something that you should be taking into account. You should be watching what the markets are going to do in the next 24 hours. And don't forget, it is a weekend in which we are also going to face the Bitcoin futures. And as we can see, the Bitcoin futures still have a gap between 41 to 41.2. So I would not be surprised if we're going to actually close that gap in this weekend and then start making a reversal before we are actually finally done with this correction, as tomorrow we're going to discuss bottom formations. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.